ultimate aim, he says, is to ensure the safety and well-being of all Deltans, irrespective of language or ethnic group. And it's been 5 years of him in the saddle as governor of the state. So how far has the medical doctor gone in discharging his duties as chief executive, chief security officer, and governor of his oil-rich state? Well, hello and welcome. This is 60 Minutes with me, Angela Ajetumobi, and it's coming to you all the way from one of the 9 oil-producing states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In the last 5 weeks or so, my host today has had a lot to contend with. He is the only governor to have faced the most election petitions at the tribunal. In fact, the matter of his first term as governor was still in contention at the time he won the elections to start a second tenure. Kidnapping, abductions, and now the floods. Say when it rains, it pours, don't they? Well, today I'm here to find out 2 things. How has the journey been so far? Does he think that he is ensuring the safety and well-being of all Deltans? And in the matter of the floods, I'll be visiting the relief camps with him, as well as asking him questions on everything that's been bothering my mind since the last time it was on 60 Minutes. So, join me after the break. I'm spending 60 minutes with the Governor and Chief Executive of Delta State, Dr. Emmanuel. As we opted to visit the relief camps today, I wanted to see His Excellency's reaction with the residents of the camp.
What is your name?
Domino.
Huh?
Domino.
Domino. Good. Morning, how are you? What did I do for you? Which kind of house? And when you go back, this kind of house, now you go stay?
No, they're not open.
They're not open now?
Yes.
And why?
That's the entrance. That's a natural artisan, this boy. It's a natural artisan. See what you think?
So when you go back, you go build this kind of house, eh? Huh? Come, security. Look at this. Come.
Who be this?
Uduaghan.
You know him?
Yes.
What's his work?
He is a governor. Our governor.
What does the governor do?
It helps the people.
Yeah, the governor helps the people.
The governor, they help you.
Yes.
How are you?
Good night, sir.
Oh, no. Where did you make her cry?
They eat.
They eat? Yeah, go feed them now. Huh? Go for it.
Oh, yeah.
I not disturb your food, eh?
Uh-huh.
What's happened? I don't go school today. Why?
The teacher said that he is not school.
Eh?
The outside people, they are doing salad today.
Oh, the Hausa people are doing salad today.
Yes.
So that's why there's no school.
Yes.
Okay. Eh?
So what will happen when the schools resume?
Okay. The schools are actually in session now. What has happened is that some of the children are displaced from their various communities. The school they were attending
Yes.
out of session. I mean, they are not, they are not there at all. So what we have done, the arrangement we have made is to ensure that we do not disrupt their schooling by putting up a system where the school their educational curriculum continues while they are here. So we have primaries 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 6, and we have GSS 1 to 3 sessions that go on in the camp. The regular school usually goes on between 8 and 1. That is
The owners,
the owners of the school.
Okay.
Then between 1 and 5,
Yes.
we have classes for the children that are in the camp that are displaced. So that way, their schools are not disrupted. Now, when they now go back to their various communities, we are hoping that as we rehabilitate their houses, their schools will also be rehabilitated. So the schools will just continue like that.
How will you rehabilitate those houses that the water came up to the roof level?
Now, right now, we have put up a team, a technical team of the Delta State University. In fact, I had to call the VC and his people to act as our technical partners in assessing the level of flooding, the level of damage, and also giving us suggestions on what to do when they go back. Part of that recommendation will be on what we do with the houses. Now, without prejudice to their reports, I believe that some of those houses will no longer be habitable. Some people might not even be allowed to go back to where they are coming from because of they probably be living in a floodplain that we might not be able to deal with. So we need to move them from those areas and build brand new facilities for them. Yes, for them.
Yes.
But for those houses that can be rehabilitated, we shall rehabilitate them and allow the people to go back to their places. But
One of the fears is those areas that are considered to be ancestral homes. If it's in a plain, there will be a kind of reluctance to move away. Say, I bury my grandpapa here.
no ancestral home can be in a plain. A plain simply means that the place is prone to flooding. That means in recent past, maybe up to 20, 30, 40 years, that place was underwater. So it cannot be an ancestral home for anybody. Most of those floodplains are people who either they are into farming or fishing, and they just migrated to the place and occupied it in recent past. So I don't think there's any ancestral home that is prone to flooding. We just thought it was necessary to buy an outfit like this that is like a hospital that can be fixed within 6 hours.
Movable.
Yes, movable. You can fix it within 6 hours. It's good for disasters. It's good for rural health scheme. I will just acquired it about 4 months before this thing happened.
Does it help that you're a medical doctor? It makes...
Well, maybe because of my profession,
Yes.
I pay a lot more attention to this aspect of it. Now, the hospital is really a facility for curative. In a camp like this, you are worried about two things. You are worried about communicable diseases, and you are worried about treatment of diseases when they have occurred.
Okay.
Now, to prevent communicable diseases, you have to pay a lot of attention to the sanitation. And of course, the most common communicable disease is diarrhea and vomiting, infection from maybe food poisoning and all that. So you have to pay a lot of attention to the sanitation, and that's why we are paying a lot of attention to the sanitation in the camps. And in terms of sanitation, we have the human waste. So we have toilets so that people can defecate in the appropriate places instead of defecating. And of course, you have the waste from everyday living. So what we have done is, in any camp, I have said they should group themselves into various groups for the cleaning of the camp. I won't bring people from outside to come and clean the camp. They must do the cleaning themselves, be able to pack them properly and put them in a designated place where the waste management board will now come and evacuate them. And ensure that their rooms are clean, their clothes are clean. So the cleaning is very important. Then two, water. We have to make sure that we provide adequate water. Water for washing, water for cooking, water for drinking. In fact, I've just said that every camp must have a filter to be able to filter the water properly. But people will say, oh, these are people who are in rural areas who are used to what kind of water the other. But it's not. You can't just sentence them to that water that is not fit for drinking. So we try to make the water fit for drinking. Then thirdly, diseases like malaria and all that can be very common here. So we are providing mosquito nets. We have some insecticide treated mosquito nets that we give to them, so that, especially the pregnant woman, like you would have seen, so that
They can't afford to have
malaria.
What about those who came in with already existing?
That's the third group of persons. Some of them have had some chronic diseases before, and they come in for treatment. What we do is they are assessed by the doctor. If it's some that can be treated here, they are treated. But some cannot be treated here. We take them to the hospital. Like those who have tuberculosis, some chronic sores. Like I saw one woman with chronic, a sore that has been on for 2 years at the Kwale camp. And I said they should move her to the teaching hospital. So she's at the...
Why didn't she do anything about it? She didn't know?
Well, she's been treating it. They just, when I saw it, they just bandaged it. That means she's been either a chemist or they call their local doctor in the village has been dressing it for over 2 years. But of course, there can be a lot of reasons. She's not healing. Yeah, she might be diabetic. It might be what we call a cancerous ulcer. So now that she's in teaching hospital, they investigate and see exactly what the problem is and give adequate treatment.
Have you had many incidents of diarrhea and vomiting in any of the camps?
Not many. There was a camp, I think at Ugeli camp, where they noticed that a lot more persons were passing diarrhea, and they investigated it was traced to soya milk. Some people came with soya milk from the communities. No, even from the communities. Some of the these displaced persons came with soya milk from the communities. Apparently, they have either been stale or infected. So we had to go around and destroy the soya milk. And I think they did that's
Take a break now. Join me again after the break.
I want to present myself as an African.
And I know, and I know, and I know, and I know.
I know what you like.
I know, and I know, and I know.
I know what you like.
Everything you love,
Baby, you love.
like.
Baby, you love. Baby, you love.
And I know, 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 and I know.
Baby, you like ho. Baby, you like ho. Baby, you like ho. Baby, you like ho. Baby, you like ho.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching 60 Minutes with me, Angela Ajetumobi, and I'm spending it today with the Governor and Chief Executive of Delta State at the relief camps here in Asaba, the capital city in Delta State. One question that's been bothering me is, how can you vouch that everybody in this camp is a person displaced by flood?
You cannot vouch, and in fact, we have so many people that are infiltrating. But my attitude really is that for somebody to come to the camp, the person has a need. You know, for people to decide I want to put myself in the camp, the person has a need of probably shelter or food. So we have a quiet agreement. I don't know whether I should say this on air, or spoken agreement, not to drive them. I mean, a few extra persons will not hurt us. let them just stay there. These people stay here for a few weeks, and the camp will be dismantled. So I've told the camp commanders and the leaders not to be too hard, on people that come either to eat or to find a place to sleep.
Obviously, Delta is going to witness a shortfall in food from harvest this year. The floods have taken away some of the farmlands. How are you going to prepare for that? What plans are in place?
Now, what we did really was, as some of them were leaving their communities, they were still able to uproot their cassava. So we assisted them to grade it and make gari out of it. Because some of those gari is being consumed in the camp right now. The issue of the food shortage, it's something that's going to be national, and we are working with the federal government to deal with it. There were some storage facilities before now, which a lot more food have been put into those storage facilities. But beyond that is the federal government's program, it's a government program of accelerated food production when the flooding is over. There are varieties of seedlings that have been produced that will grow faster and produce faster than the normal varieties. So we are working with the federal government on storage, food storage, and accelerated food production program.
What caused the flood? Nobody has been able to tell me categorically what caused it. I've met all kinds of Mama Nkiru said water they come from borehole. So in your opinion as the governor, what caused this flood?
Now, it's a combination of many factors. The first factor is climate change. I will be talking about climate change. Of course, you know that Delta State has been in the forefront amongst the states in dealing with the issue of climate change. Now, climate change simply means rising water levels as a result of increased melting, using the layman's language. Yes, melting of the ice glacier. So there's a lot more heat in the air, and the ice glacier is melting. So there's water is rising, and that has affected the climate worldwide. So there's rising water level. Now, in our local area here, that is between Nigeria, Cameroon, and all that, there's this dam, in the Lad Dam, that the water level had gone high. And of course, the only way to deal with it is to open the dam. Okay, with the opening of the dam, if they didn't open the dam, it would have caused a lot more damage.
Than what we're seeing now?
Yeah, to their own area, to that area. So they had to open the dam and allow the water to come in. Of course, that caused this flooding. Now, if we had a dam, maybe around the Benue, in our own area, yeah, would have given some buffer to the water. And I think that's what the federal government is planning now, to build one or two extra dams, so that if the Cameroon people open their own dams and the water comes down, it will not cause this kind of flood. So it's a combination of rising water levels, opening of dams that has caused.
What is the standard international practice? If Cameroon is opening their dam, don't they inform us first?
I don't have the details of what happened, but I guess that they would have been in touch with the federal government, because for NEMA to have warned that there has been increased flooding in those areas means that there was some information they had, but I don't have the details. What did you call today, like today?
What's the name of the holiday today?
Friday.
No.
Public holiday.
Somebody said something.
Who say public holiday?
From there, see.
Who say public holiday?
Okay, you are correct. Today and tomorrow public holiday.
Yes.
Okay. There are so many public holidays. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. You have public holiday because of Because of Salah.
Yeah.
Okay, correct. What other day do you have public holiday?
The day of
The day of what?
the day of 21st.
Okay. On Independence Day, you have on Independence Day you have public holiday. What day is Independence Day? Yeah? Somebody said Independence Day. Which day is Independence Day? First of okay. You said it first, eh? Okay. Which other day do you have public holiday? How many of you go to church here? So which other day do you have public holiday?
Sunday. And Christmas time.
Christmas.
Time.
When is Christmas start? December what?
December 2000.
December?
25.
Okay, December 25th. Huh? Okay, which other day do you have a public holiday? When Christ was born. What do you call that day?
Easter.
Easter cannot be when Christ was born now.
Christmas.
Christmas. Yeah? Christmas was when Christ was born. Okay. What day do you call the day he died? Yes? Good Friday. Okay. What which is the next day after Good Friday? Easter Day. What happened on Easter Day? When he when he rose from the when he rose from the when he rose from the grave. Huh? So those are the days you have a public holiday. Okay? If you are working on those days, you are supposed to rest, to stay at home. Huh? So that's the days you see your mommy and your daddies at home. They are not working. So you can continue your play, eh?
Bye-bye.
Why you not wearing shirts? No, why you not wearing shirts? Why? You not wearing shirts. Why? Do you have shirts? You have shirts? You have shirts? You have shirts? So why you not putting on your shirt? Okay, go and put on your shirt. Huh? For those who don't have shirts, go and put on your shirt, okay? Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. The River State was given a B category. What category was given to Delta State, and how did they arrive at the categorization?
Well, we're given category A.
Yes.
That means severe flooding. I think the federal, Mr. President put up a committee
Yes.
to go around and make some assessment.
Yes.
Coupled with the NEMA report of that committee, coupled with that of NEMA, they used it to categorize the severity, and we're given category A. The details of the yardstick, really, I don't know, but ours was that severe.
Okay. Now, the committee that you have inaugurated to look at how we will spend the 500 million naira coming to Delta State, how did you get the members of those committee, and what is their brief? What will they be working on?
You see, in Nigeria, people seem to be losing a lot of confidence in government and very little trust in government, especially when the issues of money are mentioned, and especially when it has to do with governors. So for some of us, we are like being careful. It's not as if the state government will not be able to sit down to determine how to spend the money. But no matter how sincere you are in trying to spend that kind of money, people will always raise issues. So what we've done is to look for credible people who have made their names in society from Delta State and put them in the committee. Of course, it's headed by a retired justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Francis Tabai, whom nobody can fault in terms of credibility. And we have people like Professor Patutomi, who are well known worldwide. We have an Archbishop as a member. We have Mrs. Enhilaye, who runs one of the, if not the biggest, schools in Warri. Been known all over the years for credibility. Of course, we added somebody from, we told the NBA to nominate somebody, we told Society of Engineers to nominate somebody, Nigerian Medical Association to nominate somebody, and somebody from civil society. We know Tommy is from the civil society and is well known nationally, but from our local civil society, we also got somebody. So that we said, okay, they should sit down as a team and advise us on how to spend the money and also monitor spending spending the money, so that at least it gives some credibility to how the money is spent.
Would that be the reason why you were hesitant as well about receiving cash donations from those who wanted to offer relief?
Yes, yes. Again, if we're accepting cash by now, there will be a lot of blackmail and propaganda that we are collecting the money. So what we said, well, look, if you have anything, if you have any money to donate, we will tell you our needs in the various camps. And I can say that a lot of persons have been donating items, especially food stuff. I can say today, I don't think we will spend money in buying some food items like rice, beans, indomie that you saw them cooking now. They were all donated. Of course, a lot of blankets are being donated. A lot of clothes are being donated. A lot of medications are being donated. So we tell you, this is our needs, go and buy and donate to us. And I think that's what most people have been doing. If we have been receiving cash, I'm telling you by now, attention will be paid to, how are they spending the money, the amount, rather than attention being paid to the challenges of the displaced people.
We'll take a break now. Join me again after the break.
I don't think there's somebody in this Nigeria who can give you that kind of prediction that this is any part of Nigeria can enjoy 4, 5, 8 hours of power. Because there are so many challenges in putting up power plants. It's not just a plant, but you also have the fuel to drive the plant. Sometimes gas, and these are not dependent on you. So if you go and boast and say in the next 1 year, I'm going to give every Delta or every person in my state 18, 24 hours, that is politics, because it may not happen. The gas you are hoping to use, at the end of the day, it might not be there. So we have a lot of these challenges that we're dealing with.
Welcome back. You're still watching 60 Minutes with me, Angela Ajitumobi, and it's coming to you today from the capital city of Delta State, Asaba. And what, in your opinion, would you say are the 3 greatest challenges Delta State is facing now with this flood?
Well, the challenges really is to provide the basic necessities of life for those that are displaced. Then 2, we also have challenges of food, because many of these people were farmers and fishermen. Even before the projected time, the cost of foodstuff has risen. The cost of gari, the cost of a lot of foodstuff have risen. Of course, we also have the challenges of movement within the state, because some of the roads were severely affected. Yes, the East-West Highway from Port Harcourt was closed for a long time. I think as the water is going back now, it's opening. The Ughelli Asaba Road too had the same challenge. The La Road had the same challenge. So we had a lot of major highways that they had challenges of flooding that could not allow us go through.
Has the flood affected the normal course of governance? I'm asking that because most times the commissioners have all been deployed to their local government areas to help out. How are you coping with that, as opposed to, now like you've abandoned everything just to face this matter?
Well, the governance is about human beings, and these are Deltans, a significant proportion of Deltans. So this is part of our governance. You will say that we have abandoned governance, because this is part of our governance. I mean, if you have about 40% of your population being displaced, being affected by flood, of course you have to pay a lot of attention to that. So this is part of governing the states, dealing with the needs of the people. at this moment, some people have some peculiar needs, needs of shelter, of food as a result of displacement. So it's part of the governance. Ministry of Health, for instance, they have to pay attention to their health needs, which is part of their governance. Water resources, they have to provide water, part of their governance. So every agriculture, they have to deal with the food issues. So it's part of the governance.
Now, I want to take you back to the uh, Bureau for Public Enterprises and your objection to the discourse. I know that you've protested that the process was fraudulent. What next?
Well, let me explain this. I think some of us governors have been in the forefront of ensuring that the power program of Mr. President succeeds. But we also know that there are people who want to ensure that that program does not succeed. And those are the people that we are fighting against. The independent power plants across the country that are being completed today, we put a lot of effort. This state, for instance, contributed 50.7 billion. And if we are not interested in the program succeeding, of course, we will not put that kind of money. Yes. I'm a member of the board of that, and we go to meetings regularly. We go to monitor these projects to ensure that the projects are completed. On the issue of the various transmission lines, the various transformers, this state has put a lot of money to ensuring that we buy such things. Most of the transmission lines and transformers you are seeing in the state today, they were bought by the state. Yes. We have our own independent power plant that we are constructing. There was gas shortage in this country for almost 9 months because of issues that have to do with the gas lines. Some of us tackle this problem even as far as going to the creeks. That time nobody knew. But now everybody's enjoying the power from gas. So if we don't want this program to succeed, we will not go into all these ones. So what we are saying is the issue of the discourse must be properly handled. If it's not handled, all the programs of Mr. President will be in jeopardy. And I believe that there are some people who are deliberately ensuring that the program does not succeed.
And what will be your response to the accusation that the governors are only against this process now because they didn't win the bid?
Well, first of all, we keep saying, and of course they agree, that nobody can come to this state, for instance, to try and deal with the issue of distribution without involving the state governments.
Is that a threat? Are you
it's
saying
not a threat? It's reality. Okay. It's reality. Today, a lot of OMLs have been sold, but some of the operators cannot come and operate because the communities were not involved, the states were not involved. So we are saying that, look, you can go and sell to anybody you want to sell to, but without getting the state involved, you have problems. It's not a threat. I'll just sit in my office and I'll allow you to go and collect. When you have problems, don't run to me. That's what I'm saying. I mean, when they're having problems with their OML, now they're running to us. I'm having to deal with the communities, but when they were selling them, I wasn't involved. Yes. The same thing is going to happen to this privatization if not properly handled.
So that's what I'm saying. What's the way out for the four of you?
We have made our point known. Yes. They can blackmail us like they're doing now. They can use the media to blackmail us. They can call us that it's a political issue. Yes. Fortunately, those of us who may hear the press conference will not belong to the same political party. It is not about president. It is not about vice president. But it's about ensuring that the president's program succeeds. And there are people who don't want it to succeed.
We understand you've approached the National Assembly for assistance. What are you hoping for the National Assembly to achieve, knowing that the bid has been opened and it seems to be final?
Well, I've not really officially approached the National Assembly. Yes. So legislators came here and I mentioned it to them. And I did that because I know that at the Senate level, yes, there's a bill, if passed, will compel any outfit being privatized to pay attention to the communities, yes, and the state government. Okay. Now, the National Assembly or the Senate in its wisdom has done that because of the experiences we have. Yes. Where we sell properties at Abuja, the states are not involved, the communities are not involved. And of course, by the time the person who has bought the outfit comes to now wants to operate, has challenges. Yes. And it takes us months, years, several meetings to try and sort out the challenge. This could have been done at the time of the sale. Yes. if the states are involved or if the communities are involved. And that is very significant for any of these things that we are privatizing to be properly handled. Talking about the discos, for instance, most of the cables we are seeing today, most of the transformers we are seeing today, they were all bought by the state government over the years. So why would you want to privatize it and the state government is not part of it? We are saying that after selling it, the people will now come and sit with us and discuss. I mean that is like
Medicine after death.
yeah, medicine after death, or like a father saying, "I want to marry a wife for my son." I mean, we have passed that age of marrying wives or husbands for our children. Now the children look for the wife or the husband, and they bring and we bless the children, and that is what we are saying. So it's unfortunately people are turning it to blackmail, to as if to politics. It's not about politics, but it's about making sure that the power program of Mr. President succeeds. You privatize the disco, the state is not part of it. It will take several months of discussion and negotiation.
Yes. For the people of the community
to buy into it. And this can be prevented from the word go.
Would it have been better if we hadn't gone through this way, especially with the distribution? Now that we're seeing that the reality on the ground is that these companies will have to come into territories that they are unfamiliar with.
Yeah, and that's what, you see, when this thing started, if many states wanted to buy the discos wholly.
Straight out.
Yeah. And we even suggested that every state can have its own disco. There's nothing stopping from Delta State from having a disco. There's nothing stopping Nigeria from having 36 discos. These discos, they were created by somebody. So this present administration can create more and let the states. But they said no, that it should bring companies and the states should just have some issue. And fine, and a lot of discussions have been going on up to now, and you just get to a point where you truncate all the arrangement and you say, okay, we are bringing people, go and discuss with them. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
And I'm keying into your message of Delta Beyond Oil. I spoke with the Lands Commissioner, Patrick Ferife. He talked about how the state government has made it easier for people to come and acquire land as long as they have genuine intentions. So what other reliefs, incentives are you putting in to encourage investors who want to come in with long-term plans?
The greatest challenge for any investor really is land. And we've made that easier. The time for processing of land is now easier. And depending on the investment, we also give tax relief. Of course, our own tax relief is limited because most of the taxes that have to be paid are federal government taxes. The ones for the state are mainly payee and some other small taxes. But we've made it easier for them by saying, okay, if we find that we can give you release for 2-3 years, we do it. But the other thing too, for investors, is the issue of security. What we do is, if you come in as an investor, we now sit down with you and have a security plan for your investment, because security is a big issue. How do we protect your workers, especially if you have expatriate workers? How do we protect your facilities? So we sit down and have design a security master plan for you.
Is that an acceptance by you that kidnapping is still a challenge in this state?
Not just this state, the whole of Nigeria. Security is an issue in Nigeria. Today, we cannot run away from it. If you go abroad now, you are looking for investors. The first question they ask you is security. Of course, right now they are even more concerned about Boko Haram activities and all that. So security is an issue for any investor that is coming to Nigeria. So you must sit down and design a security plan. Then the other thing we have also done is to put up what we call a one-stop shop. That is an office that deals with all your various needs as an investor. It's because in government, in government there's a lot of bureaucracy. How do we reduce the bureaucracy? How do we assist you to make things easier? Even if it requires us assisting registration at the national level, we'll do that.
Who gave you all this equipment?
We bought them, so then people donated them. Now, we talked about the school.
Yes.
But there are people, sit down, please sit down. There are the youths who have left school, and we do not want to keep them idle. So we started the skill acquisition in conjunction with a Catholic NGO in the various camps. So they teach them a lot of skills, computer, hairdressing, sewing. Then secondly, when they finish, when they leave here, they can now have something to do. We'll be able to set them up when they leave here in their various
Like a
families.
starter pack or
Startup,
something.
yeah. They made all this. These are babies. All this were made by them. Yes, these bed sheets. Like something they give. I don't know what it is. 25. But you don't see they give 17, they go out like 2 weeks. They go watch out like 2 weeks. If anything happens in 2 weeks, before they will do something. But you know the thing what I tell you, I say, if you get small pain, you get pain, or you get discharge, that's what they call shoe. You sabi am, How many you don't born before?
2. This one are 3.
Okay. You too? Anytime you get small pain, say like say you want born, make you tell them, then immediately they'll carry you go to the hospital. Say, all of them get the message. Because I know they want to make people born for here. I know some of them are born for here, but you know this safe.
Why can't they have?
You see, every pregnancy has its own risk, and you want to the delivery to be taken in a place that is ideal, that is the best. This a mobile hospital. It has a lot of facilities. It has theater and all that. If it happens that they cannot be moved, they can be delivered here. But the risk of survival of the baby or mother is not too good if you deliver in an environment that doesn't have adequate personnel and adequate facilities. So the structure I put on in every camp is that once they are in labor, they must be moved to the nearest hospital, where all the facilities are there. These are not regular people that deliver pregnant women here. Yeah. So now the year so,
Yes,
when I get small pain, I come here, they'll take ambulance. Where the ambulance at? Okay, so on the other side, they'll take ambulance, carry on and go hospital when I go deliver. These are your picking.
Yes, sir.
How many years this one do?
A year and
A year and with it?
a year and 11 months.
Another one day here. How many you don't get?
2. This one are 3.
You dey rush them.
No, not 2 years.
So you never reach 2 years now.
And before I go born, it go reach 2 years.
Where you don't do already? What do?
Yes, sir. Thanks, sir.
We'll take a break now. Join me again after the break.
I want to present myself as an African.
And I know, and I know, and I know, and I know.
I know what you like.
I know, and I know, and I know.
I know what
everything
you like.
Everything you love,
Baby, you love. Baby, you love. Baby, you love.
And I know, 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 I know.
Baby, you like ho. Baby, you like ho. Baby, you like ho. Baby, you like ho. Baby, you like.
Welcome back. My concluding moments now with the Governor and Chief Executive of Delta State, Dr. Emmanuel Uduaghan. And then he was off to St. Patrick's College, Asaba. Well, I had been here about 3 weeks ago. I wanted to see what improvements the state government would have made since the last 3 weeks. And the government was interested in showing me the improvements that have been made, as you do know that most of the relief camps were using schools. The schools will come back into session. And then what happens to those people?
No, these ones are really supposed to be family tents that can take
Okay,
a
a family of four, six.
What?
5 wives and 20 children. The executive unit.
It's supposed to be for small family units.
Putting all the family
I mean,
together.
Okay, so you don't separate them
Yes.
while
Yeah.
they're in the
Rather than
camps.
the camp,
That's wonderful.
But what I want to
How
do-
many are you going to have of these smaller ones?
Oh,
These ones,
Yes.
we've ordered for. No, 20 are on the ground. I think we ordered for about 200.
oh, that's fine then. That's
About
fine.
200. Okay. There's supposed to be one big unit and small ones.
The smaller ones.
Yeah, that's fine.
But with the numbers that have come now, I want to. These are some set up clinics in places we do not have. So just this, for instance, can take like 3 beds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Three
They
beds.
can
So we just put all of it together. One will be consulting room.
Treatment
Treatment
room.
room. So it's-
So the work is ongoing. It's not yet, every day you're thinking of a new innovation.
Yeah, of course now.
To make them more
just to make them more
comfortable.
comfortable. Everybody involved with this matter is almost inexperienced, apart from those who are. So we are just learning as the things come on. We just add one or two things to improve the conditions.
Are these floodlights working?
They've not installed, but it will
They
work.
work.
Yeah, it works at night.
At night.
Okay.
Yes, it works at night.
Otherwise, it'll be very dark and lonely.
Yes. No, it's not always that because we have
And we have electricity here too.
Electricity.
They have other recreations that, because today is a holiday,
Yes.
so they're taking their time. If you had come here during the school days, you see that you see the different class sections,
Yes.
and we have women that are doing other things too, knitting and all these things around the community.
How
It's
are
taking
the
shape for the-
sanitary conditions?
We have a lot of toilet because this was originally a school.
Okay.
So we have sanitation-wise, we have enough toilets around, and they have the mobile toilets in the backs too.
Need to wash them.
Yeah.
Okay,
From
there's a
Ministry of-
roster.
Yeah, there is. So have waste baskets.
Okay.
They are putting on their clothes now. Okay.
I thought you have all these staff commandants and all that.
Yeah, we have.
We do.
He is the course, the camp
Director.
commander. He works with Mr. Anthony Waka. He's the director of the ministry.
The people, they have to be vigilant when who comes in, who doesn't come in.
Exactly.
Huh?
There seem to be more people than from the last time when I came.
You see, this is one of the problems we've been having. We've
Yeah.
been having a lot of non-residents actually coming
What do you mean non-resident from outside the state?
from outside the state and people that are not flood victims. So that's something that, so we were talking about when we move in there, we're going to do revalidation.
Like the census.
Exactly. So register, we'll get our list and go through the list to make sure it's just those ones that were initially admitted that we're going to admit into that place. So we might be able to phase out a lot of these non-victim people that we have in the camp.
On the final note now, Your Excellency, what is the situation with the floods? Have the waters stopped or are there still areas still being flooded as we speak now?
Yes, I think the situation is better. There are certain parts of the state where the water is receding, some parts where it is static, but some, especially in the south, where there's still some rising water, but it's not as fast as it was. So I would say the situation is generally better.
Thank you very much for having us in Asaba, Delta State. Well, you still have an opportunity to donate relief materials to Delta State if you so wish. We do have liaison offices all over Nigeria. In Lagos State, you can use the Delta State liaison office on Victoria Island in Lagos. The address will show on your screen. Well, that's it for this week. Don't forget to keep a date with me. Same time, same date, same station. You never know who I'll be spending 60 minutes with. I'm Angela Ajitumobi, and I thank you for the pleasure of your company.